Firstly, I'd like to begin by just thanking everybody for turning up today. I think that you've done a really good thing. I think you've done a really good thing coming here today. And I think the BNP and all the other groups do a really good thing by backing this campaign. And I'd like to explain why I believe it's a good thing to back this campaign, and I want to give you 3 different reasons. The first reason is it's right to try and correct a miscarriage of justice. And a horrendous miscarriage of justice has happened in this case. We have 2 witnesses, one of which is an actual jury member, who have given us evidence that is beyond reproach that jury tampering did take place. And if that jury tampering had not taken place, Mr. Albertiki would be in prison today serving a sentence for murdering Charlene Downs. And the millionaire rich man, Mr. Raveshi, would be in prison today serving a sentence for disposing of Charlene's body. Now, the miscarriage of justice is not just concerned with jury tampering. There is a question of why was no retrial held. In this country, when a jury fails to reach a unanimous verdict, it is CPS guidelines that a retrial should be held. In this case, no retrial was held, although the judge did call for one. And we are pushing behind the scenes, we're in contact with the CPS, asking why, to give us a reasonable justification for why they're not mounting a retrial. In the same way as we're in touch with the police, asking them why people are not being prosecuted for jury tampering. But also, there's a question of why have the 2 men not been prosecuted with charges relating to child abuse. During the trial, 6 underage girls gave testimony to the effect that those 2 Muslim men were paedophiles. So why have they not been charged with offences in that way? And fourthly, there's a question of compensation. When I was prosecuted on charges relating to trying to inflame religious hatred, I was found unanimously not guilty. And yet I was told afterwards there's no compensation available for me. I know our chairman, he didn't mention it, but he got no compensation when he was prosecuted and found not guilty. So why did these men get such enormous amounts of compensation? There is something that stinks to absolute high heaven about this whole case and about the whole way it's handled. And I think we need look not a lot further than the fact that these 2 Muslims were incredibly wealthy. They had many contacts within Lancashire's Muslim colony and many strings that they could pull. And in my opinion, that has a lot to do with why we're in the situation we're in today. So that's the first reason why it's right to back this campaign. The second reason why it's right to back this campaign is Charlene Downs was one of ours. She had our mind and our body. Her mind was formed by our culture and our religion. And when I say our culture, I don't mean that she was brought up reading Shakespeare every day and of a weekend went to the Royal Ballet. No, she had our sorts of hopes and aspirations. She had our sorts of fears and concerns. She had our sort of sense of humour, our tastes. She enjoyed the sort of pastimes that we enjoy. She thought like we did. And when I say she was formed by our Christianity, I don't mean that she went to church every Sunday or she stayed awake at night struggling to understand the Trinity. No, she was brought up believing that it's right to do unto others as you would be done by. That forgiveness is right, and that the greatest thing that a human being can aspire to is self-sacrificial love, where people give themselves for the good of others without hope or expectation in return. She was that sort of Christian, as I'm sure most people in this room are. And when I say she was of our body, she had our blood. I don't need a DNA test to know that she was of our blood. I only need to look at that picture. She was clearly of our blood. She was, in a very real sense, my sister, a member of my family, in the same way that you are all my brothers and sisters. She was a member of our family. Mind you, I've got to say, looking out here, I think God could have been a touch kinder when it came to handing out good looks to my family, but we'll pass that by. And what I say is, what kind of people would we be if we allow these foreigners, and they are foreigners, they're a different culture, different religion and different blood, come to our country, suck these young girls in because of their immaturity and naivety into a life of real horror, where they not only abuse and rape them but murder them? What kind of people would we be if we did nothing and just looked the other way? We'd have no self-respect and no honour at all. But it's not just a question of honour that we should stand up for members of our family. It's a question of collective security. We need to show these foreigners that there will be consequences if they abuse or misuse us or inflict injustices against us. And I'm not saying that we should go and blow ourselves up outside a mosque or chop some Muslim's head off in the middle of in the high street. We should do exactly what we've done today, which is responsible, intelligent and serious political action. And like we said, we are having some success. So that's the second reason why it's right to back this campaign. The third reason why it's right to back this campaign is that those people who should be caring for us, those people who have a duty of care to look after us, the police, the judiciary, the CPS, our politicians, our professors, our journalists, are just not doing it. They're just looking the other way. They refuse to face up to the reality that we are being abused. I was mentioning to Mike Whitby a few weeks ago, I said, they just won't face up to the truth. And he turned around to me, he scoffed, he went, he said, telling them the truth is like shining a light on a bunch of cockroaches, you all run for cover. And that is exactly the case. Our leaders are not doing their job. And because they're not doing their job, we have to do it. We have to stand up for ourselves and we have to protect ourselves, which is exactly what we've done today. So, in conclusion, there are three reasons why it is right to back this campaign. Firstly, it's right to try and correct a miscarriage of justice. Secondly, it's right to stand up for members of our family. And thirdly, we have to stand up for ourselves because those who should be doing that for us are not doing it. But before I go, well, they are guilty. But before I go, I'd just like to pay tribute to one man who has steadfastly put his weight behind this campaign. The reason why I'm involved in this campaign is because of this one man. He has been on this case for years, and because of his unstinted weight that he's put behind this case, I think all the British public have a duty, should pay him some credit and gratitude, because I think he has literally saved thousands of our girls from this sort of abuse. And that man is our chairman. And I think we should finish by giving him a loud round of applause, even though he's not here. Thanks for listening.